Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Law Jurist Dr. Pramod Wagmare. Friends, today I am going to introduce with a special topic relating to the Electricity Act, and in this Electricity Act already I have covered my first lecture on the first part, that is the Electricity Act 2003. Now today I would be like to discuss on the important part 2 of the Electricity Act. Now you all are aware that this Electricity Act has three important functions. These three functions are: first, generation of the electricity; second, transmission of the electricity; and third, the distribution of the electricity. Now this part already we have discussed in part 1, and today I would like to discuss with you regarding the part 2 of this particular session. Now in part 2 I would like to discuss on some of the important powers regarding the central government to have a national electricity policy and a tariff policy from time to time. Now friends, here the central government, in consultation with the state government, has to prepare a plan on national electricity policy, which is referred under subsection 1. Now in this particular aspect, three things are very important. That is, when you are going for a national electricity policy, generally the opinions of all the companies who are generating the electricity, their opinion is one of the important aspect to be taken into consideration. And in this particular aspect also, here very important is that central government has an important power regarding the approval of revising this particular policy. Means when you are to revise the policy, then generally the things become different, and therefore the opinion of all the central boards, state board, and particularly the sectors which are coming under electricity, they have to be taken into consideration. Now friends, here when you are preparing a national policy in any field, in any faculty, then generally you have to go for two important things. That is, first one is the general effect, and second one is the long term effect. Now when you are going for the general effect, generally all opinions are taken into consideration. But when you are going for a particularly the big impact, then naturally the rural areas, the non-conventional areas, we have to take into consideration. When these all areas are to be taken into consideration, the biggest problem in India is there regarding rural electrification. Because in India all the urban areas are electrified very nicely, but in rural areas there also requires one type of policy to be taken into consideration for the rural electrification, because majority of the people today also they are living in the villages, far remote places, and therefore they should be given the benefit of particularly the electrification. Because life without light is impossible nowadays. Because if there is a load shedding of 2 hours or 3 hours, we get disturbed regarding the law. And we speak generally that what law is made, how it is made, what are the things that are not to be taken into consideration, whether the impact factor is taken into consideration, that is the environmental impact study is there or not. These all things come regarding the electricity also, and therefore we have to go for the generation of electricity. Generally we must have a good overview regarding the generation stations which are there in India. Now here when you are talking about the generating stations, generally we talk about particularly the public purposes, the use of the state government, and the production of energy. Because for having a good type of electricity, we require a coal of high quality, that is to be burned, and in the thermals this particular thing is done with various safety measures, and these safety measures are one of the important things that you must have to understand the particular area. Now friends, when there is a generation of electricity, you have to go according to the terms and conditions of the electricity plant. Means whether you are running a thermal plant, whether you are running the electricity generation of the energy by the renewable measures, or whether the state transmission is properly working or not, then what facilities should be given to the particular areas. That all things we have to keep in mind. Now here, when you are keeping these all things in mind, you will have to study section 10 of this particular Electricity Act, stating about the generating companies, because nowadays there are lots of private companies who are coming ahead for the particularly generation of the electricity. Now when you are generating the electricity, generally the big companies come into picture. Say for example, just like Adani and particularly the Ambanis, who are preparing the particularly electricity. Now these all, they are having their own terms and conditions. So what are the terms and conditions which the private firms are putting before them? What are the financial constraints on the particularly electricity board? We have to study likewise. And in this particular aspect also, the generating company is having a big capacity to go for the electricity generation, and then after generation of the electricity, the main problem starts here, that to give to the distribution. Now when you want to give to a distribution, generally the good companies who are having good reputation in the electricity field, they will come ahead. Say for example, like that of Adani and the particularly the other subsidiary companies which are running the particularly electricity generation of the electricity. And in this particular aspect, you have to be very careful about the distribution of the energy. So friends, thank you for a patient hearing regarding my YouTube channel. Please like, share, subscribe and press the bell icon for the YouTube channel Law Jurist Dr. Pramod Wagmare. Thank you one and all.